a close-up look at all your Concho Valley High School football. This is Inside the Game. Sponsored by Mitchell Automotive Group.
Howdy and happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to KSAN's Inside the Game, where we take you inside the games here in the Concho Valley. I'm your host, Griff McClellan. The time has come, folks. The 2025 postseason is officially upon us. 16 Concho Valley schools have punched their tickets this year, hoping to turn championship dreams into realities on the brightest and biggest stage. It all started this weekend, which means we have the ultimate lineup of scores and highlights. So without further ado, let's dive right in, starting with some earlier Thursday night lights. Central taking on El Paso Pebble Hills, the Bobcats' first playoff game since 2022, seeking their first playoff win in 5 years. Second quarter we go. Central strikes first. Quarterback Micah Smith finds his receiver Jimmy Edwards in the end zone to give the Bobcats a 7-0 lead. Later in the second half, the Bobcats would add to their lead off a forced fumble right here, making the score 10-0. Pretty low-scoring one early on. Central trying to set the momentum, but the Spartans would not go away, though. Here on this 13-yard touchdown pass to junior Oscar Hernandez, 10-7. So El Paso Pebble Hills not going away just yet. But that's no problem for Central, because the Bobcats run away with the victory in the fourth quarter thanks to several scoring drives, including a 74-yard touchdown reception right here to senior receiver Jimmy Edwards once again, who breaks free down the sideline, and Central captures the bi-district championship, winning 24-14. The 10-point win marks the Bobcats' first playoff win since 2020. They're going to the area round. And over at San Angelo Stadium, the Lakeview Chiefs return to the playoffs Thursday night, hosting Lampasas to kick off bi-district play, but the visitors strike first. Quarterback Bryson Roberts fakes the handoff, play action, finds a man in stride on a slant over the middle. Cahill Asom for 6, touchdown Badgers. Lakeview's turn, trying to respond. Quarterback Chris Alviso dumps it to Isaiah Rios on screen play, but the ball comes out. Rios fumbles, the Badgers dive on it, and they have it with great field position, and that, of course, leads to 6. Roberts' play action over the middle again hits Ray Valero, this time on another slant route. Touchdown, 14-0 Lampasas. Badgers led 21-0 after the first quarter, capitalizing on another Lakeview turnover here as Alviso's pass gets picked off at the goal line, returned at around the 25. Chiefs aren't giving up, though, as Alviso finds Christian Esperanza in the back of the end zone, wide open, cutting the deficit to 21-7. The Chiefs do get on the board, so they avoid the shutout, but are no match overall for the Badgers. Lampasas escapes San Angelo with a statement 52-14 victory, ending Lakeview's promising season. Now to Wall, the number 2 Hawks look to continue soaring as they've done all season, chasing their first ever state title. Hawks travel to Pecos for their bi-district matchup versus Anthony, and safe to say this matchup definitely favored Wall. The Hawks came in undefeated, while the Wildcats were 2-8, qualifying by default in a 4-team district. Wall won last year's bi-district meeting 74-6, their first stop en route to a state semis appearance. The Hawks are on a mission this season to get over the hump, and this veteran team believes they can be anybody.
And, great talent, great depth, and, it's a very close-knit group. They played in some of these big moments, last year, some of those big games. Some of them were sophomores in some of those big moments, and, we're trying to ride our legacy, and, again, I believe in the kids we have, I believe in the coaches we have, and I believe in the work we put in.
I think we learned a lot last year, just mentally and physically, and, this year we're coming for revenge, so we're going to win it all.
I mean, it means everything. Like, we've worked for this our whole years coming up, and I'm just ready for it.
Now, fast forward to Friday night, no problem. Wall easily takes care of business once again, cruising past Anthony 77-0. That's quite similar to last year's bi-district matchup, which, as previously mentioned, Wall won 74-6, a 68-point win, 77 this time around. The Hawks' quest for glory continues in the area round, where they'll face Childress next. And staying in Class 3A, have yourself a night. Grape Creek, the Eagles secure their first ever playoff win in its program's 28-year history since 1998, knocking out Crane 50-15. Now, what could possibly make this win even sweeter? That would be revenge, because Grape Creek avenges its 42-26 bi-district round loss to Crane at this stage last season. So party on, Grape Creek. Your Eagles are moving on. The Brady Bulldogs kick off bi-district after narrowly missing out on a district title earlier in a tiebreaker. Tonight, though, the Dogs' playoff dreams fall short against Wichita Falls City View. Final score there, 30-12. Time to call our first timeout, but don't go away, because when we come back, we'll have all Class 2A scores and highlights. Stay tuned. All right, folks, welcome back to Inside the Game. Time for some Class 2A coverage. Let's start with a matchup in Big Spring, where an undefeated Ozona team and one player chasing history begin their quest for immortality. But unfortunately, number 6 Ozona takes on Anson in Big Spring, having an unreal season, as that player, as you know by now, Christian Villarreal, kept inching closer to Texas high school football history. He will fall short of achieving the unthinkable, though. Anson pulls off a stunner, shutting down the Lions 35-14 tonight. The Tigers go on to the area round. Sonora's season ends in disappointment barely avoiding a shutout with a 31-2 loss. Bit of an odd score there to Stanford. Despite reaching the playoffs in now 17 consecutive seasons, the Broncos' kryptonite appears to be in the hands of the Bulldogs, losing to them for the second straight year, last year 45-8. And over to Class 2A again. Cristobal taking on Cisco, jumping straight into the action. Let's not waste any time. Lobos on their first possession jump, or just outside the Cougars 30. Colby McElroy keeps it himself, gets loose, turns on the Jets, and dives in for the touchdown. Lobos ahead 7-0. After another Lobos score, Cisco makes a defensive play now. Corbin Harrison snatches the ball loose from his own teammate for the interception, and he's gone. Lobos go up 21-0 before the end of the first quarter. And a couple drives later, zooming ahead, Cougars facing 3rd and 17. Defense steps up again, though, picked off by Harrison there. Ty DeBusk intercepted. After some good blocking, he's gone. Again, talk about some deja vu. Lobos up 28-0. Now, Cisco led 42-0 at halftime, and they hold on for a 62-0 win, outscoring Cougars 20-0 in the second half as the Cougars season comes to an end. Side note, Cristobal was outscored 130-0 in their last 2 games. All that said, Mason gets its revenge. Marlin broke the Punchers' hearts last season in a thrilling regional semis game that came down to the wire, in which Marlin won 40-37, but Mason bounces back with authority this time in a statement win to open the playoffs 61-15 Thursday night in Pflugerville. Now to Sweetwater, El Dorado, Johnny Rayadam, the quarterback leading his team at the historic Mustang Bowl in Sweetwater, taking on Tahoka for the bi-district title. First quarter under 4 to go. The Bulldogs knocking on the door of the Eagles' goal line. Dante Garcia rolling to the strong side with the the throwback to the weak side to Sam Kessler for a 7-yard touchdown. Tahoka up on top 7-0. The next El Dorado drive, check out this play. Adam with a toss to the sideline to Amar Luna. Check out Amar Luna getting not 2 feet down for the grab. A few plays later, though, under a buck to go in the first quarter, the Eagles busting out the jumbo package right in front of you. Garrett Walling goes to the end zone, making the 14-yard grab for the touchdown. Game tied at 7 now. Bit of a controversial play here. Late second quarter, Tahoka on the Eagles' doorstep, 1st and goal. Dante Garcia called his own number. The question is, did he get the ball in before the ball came loose? The officials ruled no. It was a touchdown. So the Bulldogs go for 2 on the ensuing play and get it to lead 15-7 at the break. And El Dorado unfortunately falls short tonight, unable to catch up, losing 35-13 in Sweetwater. Now, number 4 Junction, the designated home team facing Somerville. The Eagles look to keep its dreams of a state championship alive, beginning with an opponent they shut out last year 27-0 before falling short in the regional finals. Junction's quest for redemption has a very similar result tonight, starting with a bang, winning 70-6. And time now for our second time out, but don't go anywhere. The playoff madness continues with 6-man coverage when we return. Welcome back, folks. Time for 6-man coverage. Starting with Water Valley, the Wildcats return to the playoffs after defending their district title, set to face a familiar opponent in the bi-district round. After reaching state semis 1 year ago, a new journey has begun. The Wildcats prepared to face the Hermleigh Cardinals first in a rematch of their Week 2 matchup, which Water Valley won 56-8. The Wildcats have hit cruise control all season, winning all but 1 game via mercy rule. That 1 game, in the exception, was still a 37-point win against Robert Lee, so nonetheless, just domination all around. Water Valley may have been accustomed to running sprints, so to say, but the coaches and players were ready for an endurance race in an intense playoff atmosphere.
Some of it goes back to last year. We did not quite get to run the same amount of sprints, so to say, in the short games last year, but we figured out how to get it done throughout the year. We've had a couple of that have gone a little bit longer than we'd like, and we've played a full game this year, and I really think we kind of, no matter what happens, the farther the game goes, the better we get.
When it hits playoffs, we just go into a different mode, and we just try our hardest and stuff, and the fans, they're awesome this year.
Playoff games are a lot more tense, you get a lot more hyped. You know, we win, we're done. It's not like the regular season where 1 win is or 1 loss, you just keep going. We win, we're done. So we have to keep our minds right, stay locked in.
No surprise here. Number 2 Water Valley continues to dominate, crushing Hermleigh 62-14. Interestingly, the Wildcats win by the exact same margin as Week 2. That is 48 points. The Wildcats advance to the area round once again. Continuing with our scores here, number 6 Robert Lee in action tonight for a top 10 matchup. Bit of a challenge in the first round, taking on an Ira for the second time this year. The Steers easily won that Week 3 matchup 60-14. Now tonight, funny, same exact thing, identical result. The Steers move on, winning 60-14. Number 7 Menard going against Canepa. The Yellow Jackets look to avoid being on the wrong side of history, that is repeating last season's late collapse. Similar to 2024, Menard finished the regular season undefeated, but its playoff run was short-lived. But that's not the case tonight, at least. Menard lives to see at least 1 more week as they crush the Rock Crushers 62-0, punching their ticket to the area round next. Blackwell back in the playoffs, taking on Balmorhea. Unfortunately, the Hornets' playoff run is short-lived in 2025, disappointing with a 56-8 loss to the Bears Thursday night. Blackwell's miraculous in-season turnaround is officially history, although they have lots to be proud of, reaching the playoffs with a 3-1 district record, overcoming an 0-5 start. And our final highlights of the night take us to Merton, where district champ Bront faces Grand Falls Royalty. First, the Longhorns return the opening onside kick for a score. Next, the defense forces a fumble here and recover, setting themselves up with great field position. Ensuing drive, Parker Holland hands off. Long run outside of the 3-yard line. Watch him go. Bront goes ahead, 16-0 early on. But that's just the start, because watch this. Jason Burns gets the Cowboys on the board here. Look out with a massive play. He just breaks free. He's wide open. 16-6 now, cutting into the deficit a little bit. And Gino Cruz takes a snap next for the Cowboys. 16-13. Longhorns still lead by 3, but Royalty coming back. And watch out. Burns has another long run here. Oh, my goodness. The Cowboys take the lead, 22-16. And then after he scores standing up there, next Cowboy possession, fake handoff. Aaron Cuellar the catch and run here to extend the lead to 29-16. Grand Falls Royalty with 23 unanswered points. What a response. Bront trailed 41-22 at halftime and could not escape. The Cowboys advanced 79-34. With that, we're now going to send it over to Brian Cunningham, who is live at OK Wolfenbarger Field after the conclusion of this one. Brian, take it away.
And we are live from OK Wolfenbarger Stadium, the legendary one that did host Bront Longhorns and the Grand Falls Royalty Cowboys in what was a bi-district matchup. This was a good one as we led into tonight. Bront took the 16-6 early first quarter lead. They did so after getting the opening onside kick for a touchdown and then forcing a fumble to take an early advantage. But then it was really just all Cowboys at that point. 18-73, the Cowboys outscored the Longhorns going into the end of the game. The game was just called with 5 minutes to go via the mercy rule, and this was a tough one that we have here. Like we said, Longhorns did have the advantage 16-6. It was just early turnovers in this game that really hurt this one, but this was the matchup for the bi-district playoffs between Bront and Grand Falls. Again, the winner of this matchup was going to face Jayton, the defending state title champion in this district. Again, live from OK Wolfenbarger Stadium. Bront Longhorns go down this game, and we'll send it back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Brian. That now sends us to our third and final timeout of the evening, but stay put. We'll revisit history, trivia, and preview the next round right after this. All right, welcome back, folks. Time for a brief history lesson. If you're unaware by now, there's one player who has had a season for the ages, a lot of it spent chasing history. Ozona Lions running back Christian Villarreal had a season for the ages. Although Ozona's season did not end the way they expected, the Lions steamrolled their way into the postseason, coming in undefeated, just dethroning most opponents by massive margins. We'll break down the stats for you. His season totals through 11 weeks, so keep in mind this is prior to tonight's playoff game. So, in other words, this is just his regular season stats summed up. He had 3,505 rushing yards this regular season, 10 shy of cracking the top 10 all-time best single-season rushing performances, and 69 shy of jumping to 6th all-time. He needed 541 more officially to break the record, which will come up short, but nonetheless, he had a monster season for the ages. He additionally had 52 rushing touchdowns, simply out of this world. And for reference, in case you're unfamiliar with this, the Texas single-season rushing record, 4,045 yards, still belongs to Kenneth Hall of Sugar Land, who set it in 1953 in just 12 games. Many consider this 72-year record unbreakable, and for now it will stand tall as the only 4,000-plus rushing season in state history, 73 years old now. And for the final time this year, our annual Concho Valley High School Football Trivia Challenge. To enter the sweepstakes, visit our website, ConchoValleyHomepage.com. Click the contest tab above and submit your answers each week for your chance to win the grand prize, a $100 HB gift card. Our final weekly winner will be announced this Sunday, November 16th, who will receive an automatic bid for the final drawing. And our grand prize winner, the moment you've all been waiting for, will be announced 1 week from tonight, November 20th. Looking at tonight's trivia question, which of the following Concho Valley schools has never won a state championship? Sonora, Mason, Central, or Ozona? Remember to visit our site again and submit your answer. And in case you're just now tuning in, now time for our biggest bi-district headlines. In case you missed it, Central dismantles El Paso Pebble Hills, securing its first postseason win since 2020. Meanwhile, for Lakeview, the Chiefs' promising season ends in a heartbreaking fashion. 52-14 blowout loss at home versus Lampasas. And unsurprisingly, number 2 Wall just completely breezes past Anthony 77-0, crushing them for the second straight year. Wall's dreams of its first ever state title will live on. Instant upsets, number 6 Ozona 35-14. Christian Villarreal's spectacular season ends in heartbreak. And to wrap up 2A, Mason dethrones Marlin 61-15, getting revenge after last season's heartbreaking loss in the third round. The Punchers are moving on. And looking ahead now to the area round, the Bobcats are on to the area round where they'll face a huge task against the #1 team in 6A Division II, South Lake Carroll. #2 Wall takes on Childress again, defeated them 49-14 in the area round last year, so a bit of a chance at redemption if you're Childress, but for Wall looking for history to repeat itself. Mason will play Schulenburg. Winner heads to the regional semis there. #4 Junction will face Falls City, another familiar foe for the Eagles, as they eliminated them last season by a final of 35-13. And in 6-man, #2 Water Valley advances to the area round, set to face Newcastle. And that wraps up our area round preview, folks. That's all for Inside the Game. Thanks for joining us as always, and stay tuned for one more episode next week, our finale. Until then, good night, Concho Valley.
Catering for Friday night football staff is provided by Chick-fil-A. Inside the Game is sponsored by Mitchell Automotive Group.